Valentine's Day is around the corner, and you know, my friends, that I was going to come here to talk about the newest launch from Pat McGrath, her Love collection. I actually posted all the details about this new collection from Pat McGrath on my Instagram. So if you're not following me just yet on Instagram, I will highly suggest you to do so because I keep you posted on the new and upcoming makeup and beauty releases. I also keep you posted whenever there's a back in stock alert or whenever there is an early access, which in fact for this collection there is a link to sign up for early access. I will be leaving it on the description box below along with the links of everything that I'm going to be talking about today for your convenience. So make sure if you're interested about this collection to sign up for that early access because the official launch day is set on January 27, which is around the corner. And that's why I'm coming right here to talk about the collection, to really see and dissect this collection and see what is really worth it to get, or if you're interested on something. I think it's really good and healthy to have these kind of conversations. In fact, I'm going through a decluttering that I'm trying to film. It's gonna take, I don't want to say forever, but it's taking me a long, long time. And I'm just kind of like letting go of things that I'm not using at all and whatsoever, keeping obviously those things that I'm going to be using for review purposes. But also, it's, bringing to my attention, you have too many of these and that. Although I review makeup here on my channel, not only makeup, but I also do skincare, fragrances, I do a little bit of fashion, vlogging, and whatnot. But it just, like, I just want to get reorganized, recenter, and kind of have a fresh start of the year as we are entering into the midwinter and soon approaching into spring. Because believe it or not, right now we're going to be seeing a lot of launches, not only for Valentine's Day, but also for spring. So, anyhow, let's go and dive into this collection. Like I said, the official day is January 27. If you want to have that early access, which is usually like an hour before it's open to the public, I will highly suggest you to sign up for that early access. In addition, they will send you usually a 10% discount code that you can use for your purchase. So this collection is pretty substantial. It has 3 new eyeshadow palettes. They are the Mothership eyeshadow 6-pound palettes. Each of them, they cost $65. We have Iconic Infatuation, Velvet Liaison, and Sublime Seduction. All these sublime, it can get a little bit confusing, but let's go here in order of each of these palettes. Now, it has been a little while since Pat McGrath. I mean, like last year with the Bridgerton collections, Pat McGrath launched these 6-pound palettes, which they come in this format, so they're a little bit thicker. And then you have your 6 eyeshadows. It comes usually with a mirror. Hopefully this one also comes with a mirror. And then these eyeshadow palettes, they are also usually made in Italy. We will have to see if these new ones are also made in Italy. But lately she has been launching just either the Mothership, one big eyeshadow palette, and then the little 5-pound palette, which those I truly, truly love. But anyhow, let's go right here for the first eyeshadow palette in this collection, Iconic Infatuation, which it seems like it has, let's see, 3 matte shades. Yes, 3 matte shades and 3 which looks metallic. What? Well, one looks very blinding. The other 2, they look kind of like so. And it is an eyeshadow palette that I feel like out of all the 3 of them, I'm most interested on because it does have not the typical pink eyeshadow palettes that we usually see with Pat McGrath. They are not as pinky, like deep pink in tones. They are more on the soft pink with a little bit of peach and then some neutral shades. To me, I feel that this palette in specific will be very wearable, and I cannot wait to try and see if these metallic shades are as beautiful as the formulation that we are finding on the 5-pound palettes that she has been releasing. The latest ones, well, they have been the ones for the Star Wars collaboration, but we also saw the 2 other ones from the holiday collection that honestly, those are just gorgeous. Oh, they're just such a beautiful formula. So this is the one that intrigues me the most. And out of all the shades that they are listed right here, I don't think any of these are truly repeat. There could be very much likely similarities in tones with other eyeshadows from Pat McGrath, but they are not really repeated shades, at least of what I remember of. I tried to do a little bit of search also on Pat McGrath website to see if any shades kind of like pop up. I do have all the eyeshadow, well, pretty much all the eyeshadow palettes from Pat McGrath. I do have all the Mothership palettes and most of her collections. I think the only things that I had been a little bit more selective lately has been like, for example, the Star Wars collection, that latest one, because I just felt like I don't need all of these. But anywho's, this palette looks very wearable. Now, in terms of the covers of these palettes, they are all the same, which, or that's what at least it seems like, which if you're planning to pick all of them, it may be a little bit hard to differentiate which one is for which. Um, it is a little bit of a combination of what it feels like the Bridgerton kind of like cover design with the heart in the middle. Very interesting. Not really my cup of tea, but I guess with this 6 pound palette, that's what Pat McGrath is always bringing us. I honestly wish that Pat McGrath would have left all her collections and all her eyeshadow palettes like Motherships with a lacquer compact because they just look stunning. By the way, no, I'm using the Divine Rose original eyeshadow palette on my eyes. If you're wondering, I will try to put all the details of what I have in terms of my makeup also in the description box below. But anyhow, that is the eyeshadow palette in Iconic Infatuation. Now, let's go for the Sublime Seduction eyeshadow palette. Now, this eyeshadow palette looks a little bit more warm in tone. It has one very deep kind of like orange or burnt orange. Well, actually, an orange shade and one that looks like a burnt orange or brick kind of orange shade. Also, three matte shades, three metallic shades. Again, I don't see for what I'm reading right here any of the shades to be repeated shades. So it seems like all of these are new shades, although once again, they look very, very alike to other shades that we perhaps already have from Pat McGrath. And this palette in specific has that very copper warm tone, which in a way I like, but I think I'm done. I mean, like to me, that's a face that I don't feel that I use it anymore. And I'm not attracted to either. So definitely on this palette, Sublime Seduction, I'm gonna pass on. And then we have Velvet Liaison. Now, Velvet Liaison is an all matte eyeshadow palette. And listen me out, I'm kind of digging into this palette because the shades are kind of, I mean, yes, they are nudes. They are neutrals. They are kind of same old same. We have the creamy tone, the brown tone, the tan tone. But then we have two shades in here that I'm just a little bit more intrigued of. One is kind of like a mauve tone that actually kind of reminds me a little bit to one of the shades on the Pat McGrath Divine Rose original eyeshadow palette, that kind of like cool tone mauve. And then in the pictures, it shows this kind of not crimson, but kind of like reddish wine, or not even wine, kind of reddish kind of tone. But it's a very particular shade that on there's a little video clip on Pat McGrath Instagram. It looks very attractive. Actually, I kind of like it. I kind of dig in this all matte eyeshadow palette because I do have a lot of cream eyeshadows, metallic eyeshadows, single eyeshadows that I can just pop a shade. And if this is the new formula from Pat McGrath, and I'm talking about the new formulation that we find in the 5 pound palettes, the mattes in there are a lot more creamy and not so dry as the Mothership palettes. To me, they are superior in one way. Now, none of these palettes, again, have the astral shades, which are those very special shades from Pat McGrath, whether they are not only duochromes, but they are also very fine meal kind of glitter sparkly shades. None of these palettes have nothing of that, but there you have it. These are the things that are a little bit more exciting for me. Are the new Fetish Eyes Longwear Liquid Eyeshadows from Pat McGrath. These are the first liquid eyeshadows that we see from the brand. They are going to come in 7 different shades. They're going to cost $29 each. Let's be honest, there's a lot of shades in here that they are very common, that you can find in many, many different brands on these different shades, like Divine Champagne, a champagne tone, Luna Rose, a rose gold tone, Bronze Bijou, a bronze tone, a Smoldering Seduction, a coppery tone. I mean, like, they have these names, but at the end, they are things that we can find in many brands. Now, out of these 7 liquid eyeshadows, I'm intrigued on Twilight Platinum. It looks very, very, very different. It has this kind of industrial kind of tone, kind of like pewter-like, deep and intense. It's not your typical platinum. I may end up grabbing also platinum bronze because it's a shade that it's very versatile and a shade that it's a beautiful shade. I mean, most collections, this shade always attracts me because it has a little bit of that taupey note to it. And then Cosmic Chartreuse. In the swatches, it looks a little bit more golden in tone, but I like this kind of green that has a little bit of limey and gold tone to it. It's a little bit different. It's a shade that you can use it pretty much year round, that is not specific for a certain season. And I think it will be quite unique and different to what I already have. Now, don't get me wrong, I perhaps will even get Lunar Rose, which is a rose gold, because I know it's a shade that I will use, or in the opposite, Divine Champagne, because I know it's a shade that I will use. But definitely I want to try at least 1 or 2, even 3 shades, and you know me, perhaps even 4 shades. I would love to try them. I would love to see the consistency. I would love to see if they flake, if they actually emphasize fine lines. I'm on my 4th floor, meaning I'm over 40 years old, and I do have fine lines on my eyelid area, a little bit of hooded eyelids too. So obviously I want to see how do these work. Yes, I definitely want to see that. Let's see right here. Aside to these new products, there's a lot of like re-promotes. Some of them are the lipsticks. They are these Satin Allure lipsticks, which are an incredible formulation. And I honestly wish that Pat McGrath will bring this formula on her permanent line because I love satin lipsticks. And she's re-promoting the ones from the Bridgerton collection. And this one in specific is Negligee. Like I said, I had been just decluttering so many things, and the one that survived my declutter, it's Negligee. So there are 3 shades on this collection that she's re-promoting that you perhaps already have if you picked up the Bridgerton collection. One is Nude Venus, a nudie kind of shade, burnt nude. Then a warm rosewood, which is called In the Flesh. And then lastly, a bright scarlet red called Crimson Ecstasy, and that comes in the blue packaging. So those are re-promotes. She's also re-promoting 2 of her existing blushes. Desert Orchid, which is stunning, one, if not my favorite shade on her entire collection of blushes. This is gorgeous. I'm using it right here as a pop of color. Stunning, $39. Oh, by the way, also the lipsticks, they will be $30. Again, all those details, I will be leaving them on the description box below. The links will be there, so that way you can actually browse and really check the collection, see what you're really intrigued, excited for, and budgeted for. I think that is super important. It's something that this year I'm just focusing a little bit more, being a little bit more selective and curate my collection, regardless if I'm gonna be still reviewing makeup, because that's something that I will be still working on and still doing. I'm going to be doing the same thing here on my channel, but I want to be more selective because there's so much from so many different brands. And also, technology has really, really come a long, long way in terms of formulation. So, we see nowadays makeup that is just incredible in performance, that really the competition is hard right now. It's really hard. And to be honest with you, I mean, here on the blushes, we're talking about that the packaging is going to be the same. There's nothing special in terms of the actual case. The only special thing right here on these blushes is going to be the unicard, which at the end, it's going to be recycled or, thrown in the trash. I mean, you know what I mean? It's going to be disposed. Unless you want to collect all. I mean, you see that I have one right here from the mothership, from one of my mothership palettes, a cover, because I feel like those are works of art, but I'm not saving each single unicard per each of these palettes. Honestly, it's just too much. And same thing with these. I mean, like, these are cute. They are not like super heavyweight. They are really cute. But yeah, there's nothing like too special. Two other repromotes are gonna be the Liquid Lash Legendary Wear lipsticks. They are liquid lipsticks in a matte formula. Honestly, not my favorite formulation. They are super drying. You'll need to really exfoliate your lips. If you're used to a liquid matte lipstick, then you're gonna be perhaps fine with it. But honestly, to me, they are just so drying. They make my lips look like raisins, and that's something non-flattering, something that I'm not gonna go for. No, I'm not gonna be signed up for that. They're gonna be two shades: warm coral nude, which is called Nude Venus, and then Nude Cabaret, a soft beige peach. Now, when you click on the link, you're gonna see that you are able to purchase these right now without the special unicard. FYI. So if you're interested, go ahead and do it. If you want my honest opinion and suggestion, there are better liquid lipsticks out there that they have a gorgeous formula, non-drying. Look for Chanel. They do have matte liquid lipsticks. They do have their ultra duo. What's it called? It's always so long. Ultra duo tenue or ultra tenue duo. Anyhow, that you apply a gloss on top, so it will become more glossy. But if you want to use the matte part, that's good too. Although without that many different shade range, like the shade range is very small. Gucci, the Gucci liquid lipsticks, those are a lot better in my humble opinion. So skipping on those, $32 each. And then the last thing right here on this collection is the Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection Blurring Under Eye Powder, which is an amazing powder. I have it, I think they come in three different shades. I have two shades light, which is the shade that is going to be repromoted on this collection. Beautiful product. It actually really smooth out any imperfections. I haven't set my concealer. I don't need to even set this concealer. I just love it so much the way it is. But I'm just going to go ahead and use it so you can see. It's a brightening powder. Very pretty. And it just smooth and sets your concealer with easy without creasing. It doesn't emphasize fine lines. It's super finely milled to the point that I will say and suggest you to be careful with it, because if it drops on a hard surface, it may crack and open. There's no special packaging, but again, just the unicard, which is like, okay. Okay, so there's a lot of repromotes right here. Basically, the only two things that we should be, if you already have the rest, right? It's gonna be the liquid eyeshadows, which I'm intrigued of, and then the eyeshadow palettes, the three eyeshadow palettes. Now, on the liquid eyeshadows, I think honestly there was a little of a missed opportunity to create some duochrome shades. I know perhaps the duochrome thing is a little bit fading away. It was really big 2 years ago, 2021, a little bit in part of 2022, and now half of 2022, and as we are seeing 2023, duochromes are not as big. But I think a surprising effect on a seven, on a collection of seven different shades, she could have perhaps brought us a couple, like 2 shades, or perhaps make 10 shades total and have 3 that they were like a little bit duochrome. I think could have been just fun, a fun aspect, a little bit of like, oh, this is interesting. This is something completely different. But yes, my friends, this is the Love Collection by Pat McGrath coming so soon. I would love, love, love to hear from you. Which of the items on this collection are the ones that you are like, sign me up for it, or you're gonna be like, let's put the break right here. I'm just gonna wait to see reviews. I'm not gonna pick up anything, or I'm just super excited. I'm gonna pick the whole thing. Let's just continue the conversation on the comment section down below. While you're at it, and if you haven't done so yet, I want to invite you to subscribe to my channel. Make sure you ring that post notification bell because you don't want to miss any of my uploads, and also you don't want to miss any of my posts on my community tab, which is kind of like an Instagram situation, a little bit faster, where I put just an image of something that is dropping or a beauty news, and then you are on the known. So make sure you have that post notification bell on. If you haven't done so yet, come and follow me on my Instagram and TikTok. It will be amazing if we can grow our family there. If you like this video, it's super important. Give it a thumbs up because that's the way that YouTube algorithm knows, hey, this video is interesting. This girl knows what she's talking about. And yeah, it's promoting my channel, and I greatly, greatly appreciate that support. And if you're not done watching my content, I will be leaving a couple other videos right here that I'm sure you're gonna love. Until the next time, I hope you have a beautiful, wonderful day. Bye bye.